Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network, right here at WayneSPierce.com and also on Spreaker.com. Oh my God, can we just, I'm serious, folks. We've turned this country upside down. We've pushed beyond the realm and the boundaries of sanity. Can there ever be a moment where we can just stop, take a breath? Just take a breath. That's all we need. Just take a breath. Inhale, exhale. Can we just go into our Zen moment and look at this stuff? Can we? Here is Detroit.cbslocal.com. Fast food workers continue to protest after a weak raise, demand $15 an hour and a union. Okay, time to shut them down. Time to shut them down. Now somebody would say, well, shut who down? Well, okay, let me throw some reality at you here. First of all, in the last 50 some odd years, unions have become completely and utterly corrupt. They're cancerous to any worker. And there's competition involved in unions called right-to-work states, because right-to-work states abolish and completely want to destroy all union activity. Okay? Go look it up. It's right there. Go dig for the information. I did. That's how I found out about it. Unions have outlived their usefulness and serve only one purpose, to be the purses for the corporate elites. That's it. Okay? These people in Detroit that want $15, or anywhere, actually, at a McDonald's, that wants $15 an hour. Let me point something out. You're 17 years old. You're about ready to graduate high school. You go to work at McDonald's. You're making $15 an hour, probably more than your mother who's working two part-time jobs, or your father who's working a full-time job and a part-time job just to keep your ass in clothes and MP3 players. And they're thinking about your college. Well, guess what? College ain't going to work either. That puts you in perpetual debt. Hello. See a problem here, folks? I do. When I get back from the break, we'll talk about this article and talk about how this whole thing is just, it's freaking insane. It is freaking insane. Before I go off on a tangent, I gotta get a coffee. Usually calms me down. But anyway, here we are. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network. You can hear it on Spreaker.com. You can also hear it on my website at WayneSPierce.com. And if you have any ideas for a show, if you have any, anything you want to say, you get a free half hour at Spreaker.com. Yes, you do. Yeah. But there's plans that fit your budget, so go check it out. Spreaker.com. 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 Check that out because, hey, it's better than Blog Talk Radio. That's for sure. So anyway, unless you want to take calls, then you got to do all. Anywho, email me, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to the radio shows and schedule on my website at WayneSPierce.com, and I shall return after this. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Email us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. The best in independent books, films, and music. Radio Rock 92.6, The Blitz, promotes and plays original indie music from all around the world. If you've got the internet, you can be heard. Radio Rock 92.6, The Blitz. what we see is not reality. It is distorted reality. Go to Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. How you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here for the 3rd of April, 2015. How you doing? I'm yours truly, Wayne S. Pierce. Hey, I want to get into an article I started at the beginning of the show. Actually, I didn't start it, but I was going to read it to you, except for the fact that my damn browser fell apart and just stopped. Okay? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make this perfectly and absolutely and unequivocally clear. Okay? If you ever think that if you ever think that you are I'm going to put this lightly because if I go off on a tangent, I'm going to be spending an hour just bitching about something, okay? If you ever think that you're free, if you ever think that you're able to do whatever it is you want to do in this country, think again. Just think again. Okay? Just think again. Because you don't have the right to do anything at all. And I'll tell you why. Corporations decide for you what you want, where you go, what you do, how much work you do, all of that. They do this. It is what they do. So, if you think you're free to do anything in this country that you want, think again. The corporations own everything. They own the regulations. Yes, own the regulations that you are under. And if you don't do exactly what they say, they haul you off to jail and charge you with a crime. Because those corporations have pushed the lobbyists and special interest groups to turn every single right you have, God-given, innate, personal right that you have, into a privilege. Okay? That's just the way it is. So you no longer have any rights whatsoever. And this is why I adamantly encourage everyone to defend every single piece of land and property you have against these corporate, well, I can't find words to accurately describe them, but you know who they are. Justice Scalia, this is over at truthandaction.org. This is not the article I wanted to read. Basically, Detroit.cbslocal.com has an article about a McDonald's in Detroit that wants to unionize and wants $15 an hour. I believe that's completely and utterly ridiculous, and I think McDonald's needs to go away. Their food is terrible anyway. Okay? So do unions. Unions are nothing more than pockets for the corporate elites. How else do you think they make their money? At truthandaction.org, Justice Scalia, Americans will be detained in FEMA camps, period. That's just, I'm adding the period myself, but that's the headline. The U.S. government has already made clear in numerous official documents and announcements that its war on terror is increasingly focused on its own domestic political enemies, which means you and I, folks. If you're conservative, Christian, a gun owner, have expressed disapproval of your government in any way, a veteran, homeschool your kids, etc., well, this includes you. As we reported in an earlier post from last year, FEMA has ordered $1 billion in coffin liners, millions of ready-to-eat meals, and body bags. Folks, I worked in the funeral industry for over 3.5 years. I can tell you that what you've seen that is considered to be coffin liners is the basic container that the coffin, the casket is in. Go to Batesville, go to, any number of those, and you'll see that container that the coffin actually fits in for shipping on the trucks. I know this. I've been in the business. Okay? The camps have been prepared, and it isn't hard to see why they intend to fill, or who they intend to fill them with. Okay? I'm telling you that right now, folks. You better wake your asses up now. Okay? And sorry, I'm just typing a message to someone, and I got to tell you, I got to tell you, I've been researching this stuff for over 20 some odd years, 22, 23 years. I can tell you right now, this is real. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is nothing. And if you people out there that are standing, oh, that's not right. Let me tell you something. I'm done with you idiots. I am done with you pathetic, mindless, propaganda hearing, network spewing people. I'm tired of it. This is real. This is in your face. This is right now. And if you don't pay attention, you're going to wind up in one of these FEMA camps. Got it? Oh, and they're just not in America. Documents have shown that there are similar camps in other countries. Belgium, Netherlands, Pakistan. They're throughout Europe. They're in Australia. They're all over the world, folks. Let me continue on. This is going up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. And I'm going to put that there now, really. I'm going to put it there now. For some reason, and I don't know why, but for some reason, my shockwave in my browser keeps crashing my browser. I don't know why. Somebody want to help me with that? Because I'm totally unclear as to why this happens. There's so many things that this computer it's my older computer. I just got it out of the shop. It's a piece of crap. I mean, that's just the way it is. I went and got a Mac Mini. I thought it'd be better. Nope. Not at all. So Apple can take all their stuff and shove it up the line. Because they are the... No computer company, no computer manufacturing company knows how to do anything right. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have an electronics background. I have a computer background. Not one of these manufacturing companies knows how to do anything right. They don't know. They don't know. They don't have the end user in mind. They don't. Okay? They don't. So all these computer companies can either cater to us and do what we tell them to do, and this is the type of machine we want, or, I don't know. You make up your mind from there. So there you go. And I just seem to have all sorts of things to say today. So let me go here. And Justice Scalia, Americans will be detained in FEMA camps. That's up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. And this next article is going up there as well. Okay? I don't know why I did that, but anyway, I'm having a horrible Friday, folks. Have you ever woke up one day and just went, do I just want to stay in bed all day, or damn, I got to go to work? Crap. You know? Have you ever done that? Oh my God. From endoftheamericandream.com. What would happen if martial law was declared in America? April 1st, 2015, by Michael Snyder. In recent weeks, there has been a lot of concern that an upcoming 8-week military exercise on U.S. soil known as Jade Helm is actually a dress rehearsal for the imposition of martial law in this country. One of the reasons for the high level of concern is that we have seen a dramatic increase in the number of urban warfare exercises conducted by the U.S. military in major U.S. cities over the past decade, including exercises where dissidents are hunted down and arrested and hauled away. As our world becomes increasingly unstable and our society rapidly decays from within, many believe that it is only a matter of time before the executive branch will have sufficient excuse to use the extensive martial law powers that it has been accumulating since 9/11. When that day arrives, what will our nation look like? What would actually happen if martial law was declared in America? Well, the first thing that you need to know is that the U.S. Constitution would be suspended. In other words, you would suddenly have no rights at all. There would be no freedom of speech, no freedom of press, no freedom of assembly, and you could be arrested at any time for any reason whatsoever. For the duration of the quote-unquote emergency, the military would be in control. There would be troops in the streets, a curfew would almost certainly be imposed, and armed checkpoints would be set up. If the quote-unquote emergency lasted long enough, we would probably see authorities go house to house, confiscating firearms, ammunition, and food supplies. And perhaps most troubling of all, quote-unquote dissidents and quote-unquote subversives would likely be rounded up and imprisoned. Perhaps you don't think that this could ever happen in the United States in 2015. Well, we do know this is precisely what the FBI had planned to do in the 1950s. The following is an excerpt from a recent RT article. Okay, so this article is also up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make this perfectly and absolutely 100% clear. You are being lied to by the mainstream media. You are being duped into believing everything that they want you to believe, and you are being, pardon my vernacular, screwed, blued, and tattooed all along the way. This is not a conspiracy theory, people. This is reality. This is what you face each and every day when you don't stand up for what you believe in and for the nation that you were born and raised in. I was born and raised in the United States of America in San Joaquin County in Stockton, California. Let me tell you something. When I left California, it was the best thing I ever did. Now Nevada is turning into California. Nevada is becoming the fascist state that it always was. I've been back and forth from California to Nevada since 1983, and I can tell you this much right now. Incrementally, over the years, it has been getting worse and worse and worse. And Governor Brian Sandoval is nothing but a corporate puppet. By the way, he's an attorney, so he knows the ins and outs of the laws that he can break and get away with. I'm done with people who say that I'm a conspiracy theorist. Why don't you back up your freaking words, jackwagon, and tell me why you believe that? And if you don't have the information to back it up, bye. Have a nice day. I'm not going to put up with BS anymore. The American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. Okay? I can never, ever, ever, ever understand why people would ignore something so crucial as somebody in your face telling you that you're going to go to jail because you're a patriot. You're going to go to jail because you're a constitutionalist. You're going to go to jail because, for whatever reason. I don't know anybody who does not understand how these things work behind the scenes. I've been researching this stuff since high school, since Carter was president. And guess what? I knew then something was definitely wrong. Remember when he sent troops into Grenada to get some hostages and that helicopter crashed? There's only two things I saw back then. Number one, a very, 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 very corrupt government. And number two, I had to question everything. So I did. And I found out that, well, from the time that Carter got out of his term and Reagan became president, the hostages, the 400, whatever it was, 444 days, whatever it was, I don't know, those hostages, the terrorists, the people that took them hostage, which of course we found out later on that was our own, government that associated with, clandestine groups and all this, and basically it was a false flag event. These people that took these people hostage told the American State Department, we're not going to let them go until Reagan becomes president. A few days or a few weeks after Reagan became president, the hostages were released. Okay? From that point on, incrementally, from 1980 to 2015, everything has been going downhill pretty rapidly, because from 1871 to 1980, things were being put in place. The infrastructure was being put in place. The people were being tooled and schooled into how to do certain things, and then up to, I would even go as far as saying up to President Richard Nixon. They started changing things a little. And from 1980 to now, it's been incrementally quickening to the point of fascist martial law in the United States of America. And you're sitting back wondering who's going to win the playoffs in the NBA? I have no clue why you cannot see any of this. And I'm pointing my finger right at those people that call me a conspiracy theorist. Shut your big damn pie hole. Because you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I have, for many, many years, sought answers to the questions I have. And you know what? My mother taught me a very valuable thing. Not just one thing, a whole bunch of stuff. But she taught me that, number one, put everything back where it belongs, because that way other people could find it. She taught me the value of education, and she taught me the value of personal responsibility. And I can sit back today and tell you that there are things I do not know. And I'm fine with that. But that doesn't mean I don't question those things. That doesn't mean I don't dig and find out and get the answer. All that means is, at this point, I don't know. But she told me 3 things other than I love you that helped me today. She said, figure it out. I did. I have. I do. I will. And my questions will be answered. And if I don't know, I don't know. But that doesn't stop me from asking questions or trying to figure it out. Well, it's time for people to shut their big damn pie holes and start focusing on the defense of this nation, your cities, your counties, your states, your neighborhoods, your co-workers. Help them, help you, do the things that you need to do to get this country back in shape. What do you think happened in 1775 or whatever it was, 1773 I think it was? Well, it's something like that. I don't know. The Boston Tea Party. Go look that up. Actually, I'll go look it up. Let me open my browser and I'll go look it up. The Boston Tea Party, there it is right there. And it was, as soon as my browser decides to cooperate, December 16th, 1773. So from that point on to 1775, we had people standing up for their God-given rights, for the freedom and liberty in the nation. And at that point, folks, they were still the British colonies. They weren't the United States of America yet. They were still the British colonies. And these people stood up, and these people yelled, and these people screamed, and these people got angry, and these people defended themselves. And I guarantee you we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those handful of people in the back room somewhere deciding that they had to do something. And if you don't get up off your ass and start doing that, I guarantee you your next trip, your next staycation, as the trendies like to say, is going to be in a FEMA camp near you. I don't know how to make that any clearer. I don't. But as far as I'm concerned, people can do whatever they want. I'm cool with that. Do whatever you want. But remember, your actions affect other people. And especially your inaction against injustice affects other people. So don't sit there and think that you're all that. I don't. I'm just a lowly old citizen of the United States of America with an internet radio show behind a microphone, doing my part to get people off their ass in defense of this nation. And you know what? Well, I keep telling people to email me. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. I haven't seen any email. Okay, I'm just saying. I just haven't seen it. So I don't know. You may have sent it. I don't know. I got to go look in my trash box. I don't know. I'm nuts. I don't. Go to WayneSPierce.com for more information. Go to The Wayne S. Pierce Show on Facebook and email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. There's more to come, folks. Sit tight. I'll be right back after this.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. radiofreedom.us.
No elitist drivel, no media spin. Logic over emotion, fact over fiction. The home of independent conservative thought. The Conservative Voice with your host, Jeff Wagner, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
What we see is not reality. It is distorted reality. Go to Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Hey folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network. Right there at WayneSPierce.com. You can go there, check it out. Hey, if you want to sponsor the show, I'm not out to break your advertising budget. So, hey, send me an email. We'll work something out. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Yes. If you want to donate to the American Liberty Radio Network, you can do that. Go to WayneSPierce.com. Right there on the front page, you got 3 ways to donate and contribute. So thank you very much. Appreciate that. You rock. Hey, I want to give a little shout out to Mr. Tom Slick over at Radio Rock 92.6, The Blitz. Yes. Yes. It's your home for independent music and movie needs. For more information, go to radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. There you go. So anyway, hey, I'm behind enemy lines in FEMA Region 9 in the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. And I got to tell you, man, if you haven't been here, please don't. No, actually, I haven't. There are so many things that we have to really pay attention to, and I want to reiterate that. There are so many things we have to pay attention to. What are your leaders in your city, your county, your state, and all of that telling you? Compare that to what you see on the streets. Compare that to what you find on your own. Don't believe these morons in your city buildings and in your county buildings and in your state buildings. They're freaking morons. They have absolutely no idea what you want. Even though they say, well, we're for the people. No, you're not. You're for the people of the corporations. You're not for the people of the city or the citizens. I mean, so think about that one. It's a lot of stuff we need to pay attention to. But also, here's this. And let me get into some other headlines before I forget. Before I go running off on a tangent somewhere. I want to... I want to tell you this, 93,175,000 Americans are not working. Record 12,202,000 blacks not in the labor force. A record 56 million women. January-February job numbers revised down dramatically. Fed cuts growth forecast to 0. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make it very, very clear. Every single number that you see for the unemployment rate, every single number, or no, let me rephrase that. Every number you see for the employment rate is bogus. It's a lie. It's a total absolute lie. 93 million Americans unemployed, 56 million blacks, or I think it was 13 million or something like that. I don't know. Now, let me go here. Hopefully you're all listening to this on the internet. If not, there's apps at Spreaker.com for your enjoyment. You can go to Spreaker.com, scroll on down to the bottom of the screen, look on the right-hand side. There you go. Bunch of apps for all your communication devices and needs. From theweek.com, W-E-E-K, theweek.com. I'm going to put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. I want people to really, really pay attention because here is where all of this is going. Let me give you two words, or one word with a hyphen. Transhumanism. Okay? I want you to remember that. I want you to go look that up. Look up 2045 Initiative. Go look that one up too. 2045.com. The number 2045.com. Look that up. Please. Thank you. From The Week, this is in the opinion section, is the internet killing middle class jobs? The robopocalypse, there we go, for workers may be inevitable. In this vision of the future, super smart machines will best humans in pretty much every task. A few of us will own the machines, a few will work a bit, perhaps providing made by men artisanal goods, while the rest will live off a government-provided income. Silicon-based superintelligence and robots will dramatically alter labor markets. To name but one example, the most common job in the U.S., in most U.S. states probably, will no longer be truck driver. My dad was a truck driver for over 30 years. I know families right now who are truck drivers. I'm going to make a statement. Truck driving, transportation, in terms of getting goods from one place to another, is not going to be around in 15 years. Okay? I'm putting it out there. So in 15 years, if we're still around and you're still able to hear me and you're still able to know where I'm at, you come and talk to me. We'll see where it went from there. But mark my words, in 15 years, there's not going to be any more goods being transported by truck across the United States. There won't. It'll all be gone. Let me continue. But what about right now? If you're unemployed and working part-time instead of full-time or haven't seen a raise in years, should you blame technology? Yes, says venture capitalist and former Intel executive Bill Davidow. In a provocative piece for Harvard Business Review, quote, the internet has been a colossal economic disappointment, unquote. Davidow makes a strong claim. Quote, for all its economic virtues, the internet has been long on job displacement and short on job creation. As a result, it is playing a central role in wage stagnation and the decline of the middle class, unquote. Just look at how Amazon is disrupting brick and mortar retailing. And even though tech firms such as Google and Facebook generate huge revenues, they employ comparatively few people versus industrial giants of the past, such as IBM or General Motors. In 1970s, General Motors employed more than 600,000 people, 10 times more than Google and Facebook combined. To accept Davidow's broad conclusion, though, one also has to believe workers across many sectors would be a lot better off today if the internet had not been invented. That's an unlikely counterfactual. Just look at how the labor market has been doing. The U.S. economy has generated 3.3 million jobs over the past year, the best 12-month performance since 2000. Really? And accelerating job growth has pushed down the unemployment rate to 5.5% within the range of the Federal Reserve considers full employment. Now, I'm going to stop right there and say this. I just read an article, I just told you from the Drudge Report, 93 million Americans are out of work. Huh? And this guy is saying that, hey, the job market's looking good and blah, 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 and all that. Okay, let me continue. Now, it's true that the low jobless rate has been accompanied by declining labor force participation. If you're not participating in the job market by actively seeking work, you aren't counted as unemployed. Indeed, if the labor force participation rate was where it was in 2007, the jobless rate would be 10%. But most economists mainly blame lower participation on baby boomer retirements and slow recovery. The latter is typical following financial crisis, not the internet. Of course, the 2000s overall have seen weak job and wage growth, but David Autor, one of the leading researchers on the interplay between automation and jobs, doubts the internet or robots are to blame. As Autor writes in a recent paper, my suspicion is that the declaration of the U.S. labor market after 2000 and further after 2007 is more closely associated with two other macroeconomic events. The first is the bursting of the dot-com bubble, followed by the collapse of the housing market and ensuing financial crisis, both of which curtailed investment and innovative activity. A second is the employment dislocations in the U.S. labor market brought about by rapid globalization, particularly the sharp rise of import penetration from China following its accession in World Trade Organization in 2001. Unquote. None of this is to say technology isn't having a harmful impact on certain workers. Autor's own research has noted a decline in middle-skill jobs, including clerical work and some sorts of repetitive factory work due to automation. But the rise of the machines appears a secondary cause of worker woes, at least for now. As for tomorrow, who knows? Thankfully, many of the best ideas to help workers deal with an advancing automation are also applicable in a, quote, great stagnation, unquote, scenario. Expanding wage subsidies like the Earned Income Tax Credit is a smart way to make work pay more, and Dividow is right to recommend it. Same goes for eliminating excessive occupational licensing regulations that make it hard to start these sort of businesses, interior design, hairdressing, beauty treatment, that are robot resilient and provide a first step up the opportunity ladder. There's no economic law that technology allows. There's no economic law that technology always makes workers better off, even in the long run. We should be prepared now, just in case it doesn't. I want to put that on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page if I haven't already. Oh, I did. There it is. It's on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. Go check that out, folks. Go check that out. Because I seriously believe that when you look at the market, whatever market it is, food service, you name it, food service, because McDonald's workers want $15 an hour. When you look at any market out there, when you look at any available resource out there to, let's just say you want to start your own business, to get yourself into that market, there's 80% of the problems that people have is regulations. Another 10% is licensing. And another 10% is capital. Okay? I mean, you look at all these numbers and you stretch them out and you extrapolate. It's a wonder that there are only 93 million people unemployed. Okay? That's a third. They say it's, now, speaking of numbers, they say it's 5.5 unemployment rate, and most people are off of the doles and not even looking, and they're not even counted. When you look at 93 million Americans unemployed, that's almost 1/3 of the population of the United States of America. 1/3 is 33%, I do believe, plus some points after that. So we're looking at a number more closely related to the 27-28% unemployment rate in America. There's not 5.5%. It's almost 27-28%. You see, folks, your government is lying to you. They always have, they always will, to their advantage. This is why we need to stop this bull crap and get off this freaking merry-go-round and tell the operator, we've had enough of your bullcrap. We're going to change things our way. Back to the freedom and liberty and security and peace that this nation needs for everybody to be able to stand strong, stand on their own, take personal responsibility, and do what they need to do to be free. What's that mean? That means we need to get rid of the centralized government that our founding fathers told us not to have in the first place. It means that we need to get rid of the Federal Reserve and the Rothschilds and the IRS and all these other departments that are suppressing our freedoms, including the Department of Homeland Security and the Transportation Safety Agency or Administration. Then we need to tell our government, you're going to bring home 80% or more of our military back to the United States, and you're going to put them on the southern border and every place around to protect this nation. Screw everybody else. Tell our allies they're on their own. We're going to leave a small contingent of military there to help you out when you need it, but you're on your own. We like you, we want to trade with you, but we're not going to fight your battles for you. Hell, if I was president, I'd walk right into Congress, unannounced, stand at the podium, tell the Speaker of the House, step off, I got something to say. And I'd nail each and every single congressman to the wall. The people voted you here, all of you. That's what I would tell them. You have an obligation to them, not to the corporations that put you here. You have an obligation to them. To the people out there, to the person in the street right outside this building. That's who you have an obligation to. You're going to listen to them as much as I listen to them. And that's the way it's going to be. And if you don't like it, you got 48 hours to clean out your desk. Now, a lot of people wouldn't like that, and a lot of congressmen wouldn't like that because they're mostly in the back pockets of the corporate elites, and the corporate elites would probably come to me and say, hey, we can't allow you to do this. I'll look at them and say, get the hell out of my office before I have you arrested. And I'd have the provost marshal standing there with the attorney general and say, you got something to say to me? You want to clean up a town? You want to, I remember looking back in history and reading about, Dodge City, reading about Virginia City, Nevada, reading about all these other, really, these out-of-the-way places, these towns where, people got drunk and shot each other. Specifically, I remember reading the history about Virginia City, Nevada. People come out of the mines, they go to the bars, they get pissed off, they shoot one another. It just didn't, I don't know if it was that bad, but when there's a new sheriff in town and he starts cleaning up the crime, people get pissed off because everybody on the criminal element decides, hey, wait a minute, we're not getting anything out of this. We used to just be able to walk into town and get whatever we want. We can't do that anymore because there's a new sheriff in town. Well, you better believe it. The independent media and the alternative media are the new sheriffs in town because the press held politicians accountable and responsible for what they said and for what they did, respectively. But somehow that got corrupted, and now the independent media and alternative media are now holding the mainstream media accountable for everything they do and responsible for everything they say. And I'm going to tell you something right now. That's the way it should be. So if you're all pissed off at the fact that I get up in your face and tell you all these things, tough. Either grow thicker skin or pack your bags and get the hell out of the United States, because this ain't your country no more. It belongs to the corporations, and we the people who understand peace, freedom, and want security and liberty in this nation for each and every person, no matter what color they are, or if they're white collar or blue collar, or no matter what shirt they're wearing, you have to understand that this country is ours. You don't like it? Get the hell out. I'm very upfront with people, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me. And you know what? That's fine. Disagree with me all you want. You better put the information on the table if you want to debate me and disagree with me, because I'm not giving you 2 seconds of my time. If you don't have something to put on the table to justify your disagreement with what I'm saying, it's pointless for me to even talk to you. And that's why I reiterate this. I am done with ignorant people. I am done with the people that call me a conspiracy theorist. I am done with people who say that I'm wrong, or Alex Jones is wrong, or Glenn Beck is wrong, or any number of people out there in the alternative and independent media. I'm done with you folks. I'm going to talk directly to the people that know what I'm talking about, that have researched it themselves, that have brains enough to figure this out on their own and to dig deep into this stuff and figure this out. Everybody else can stand on the sidelines and listen. And if you get a wild hair up your wazoo and you decide to go out and research this stuff yourself, have at it. But I'm not going to listen to anybody that says, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, there's no chemtrails. No, I'm not going to listen to that. We are living in a fascist, democratic, socialist dictatorship, pseudo-dictatorship, under the leadership, quote-unquote, and I use that word loosely, under President Barack Hussein Obama. We have a corporation in Washington, D.C. that is manipulating everything around, including the stock market. By the way, they signed documents, Congress signed documents that said that it's okay, it's not illegal for them to inside trade with the stock market. Well, there you go. That's corruption at its finest. And most direct. Because what they do and how they affect the stock market affects your bottom line and affects your budget in your home with your kids and your family. Can you figure that one out? I just did for you. So there you go. Free gratis. There it is right there. It gave you something free. But if you want to support this government because you're one of those fascist democratic socialists, you go right ahead and do that, because your days are numbered, jackass. That's all I got to tell you. And when they're done chewing you up and spitting you out and thinking that, thinking that you're going to get one prestigious opportunity to have one of these wonderful positions in government, think again. You're going to be staring through the bars at the Gray Bar Motel at the FEMA camp near you. They use you, spit you up, and just spit you out. Chew you up and spit you out onto the ground, and they step on you like a pile of garbage. So you think again, Mr. Corrupt Police Officer. You think again, Mr. and Mrs. Corrupt Politician. You play their game, you're going to get burned quick. Okay, I've seen it. It's all in history. You go back and look at history at the Roman Empire, at the Oriental Empire back then, prior to the Roman Empire. You look at the British Empire specifically that we fought against to separate ourselves from the tyranny that they were implementing on us. And you tell me whether or not tomorrow is going to look good for you in a prestigious position with the government. No, they're going to, again, chew you up, spit you out, step on you like a piece of trash. You did your job. You helped them get from one position to another. Boom. Your job is done. And they don't want anything to do with you. Shall I go on? I've only got 3.5 minutes left. Anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, yes, even if you disagree with me, the burden of proof is on you. Email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Please do. I want to hear from you. Seriously, I want to hear from you. Or go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show, like the page, send me a friend's request, put me on your list, and message me there. It's okay. You can do that. I'm fine with that. Also, I want to remind you that Brian Lang at LiveTruthRadio.com has a show. Go check that out. LiveTruthRadio.com. Go to Listen Live, or I think that's the link you click when you want to listen to his show. Live Truth Radio. Also, go check out Nick Tucker, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Check that out, too. He's, You think I get a little frustrated and pissed off. You don't want to mess with this guy. I'm just saying. He's very knowledgeable about what he talks about. So there you go. Also, I'm bringing back the Views Express Live. It's been on hiatus for a while. I'm bringing that live show back, the Views Express Live. I don't know when. I'm just I'm going to shoot for excuse me. I'm going to shoot for next month. Sometime at the end of next month. I'm going to bring that back, bring it in the summer, see how it goes. So I'm just going to, because I've retooled it and made things better, I hope. So anyway, also check out, if you like independent music, check out Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz, the best in independent books, films, and music. And they promote and play original indie music from all around the world. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz on Spreaker.com. Check that out as well. Hey, again, folks, you are always welcome to support American Liberty Radio Network. Go to WayneSPierce.com. There's 3 ways to support this network. And, of course, you are always welcome to email me with anything that you have, any questions, whatever. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. That's just the way it is. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Folks, it's been great. Check me out Monday, The Wayne S. Pierce Show, right here on American Liberty Radio Network on Spreaker.com.